titled A Path of Self-Destruction. Growing up was a journey of deep transformation and painful self-discovery. It was shaped by both loss and resilience. From a young age, I felt the absence of something essential, my mom. Her struggle with methamphetamine addiction left a void in my life that I didn't know how to fill. Amid that pain, my dad became my anchor. From the age of 7, he offered me unwavering, unconditional love and support. His presence gave me strength even when everything else felt uncertain. At age 16, I encountered my first taste of what I thought was freedom. It came in the form of cocaine and alcohol. Initially, it was peer pressure. Before long, those substances became a daily escape. The numbness they brought felt easier than facing the ache of growing up without my mother. A year later, I moved in with her, hoping her presence would somehow mend the broken parts inside me. The pain remained, and I continued down a path of self-destruction, using drugs and alcohol to mask my emotional wounds. Everything changed when I found out I was pregnant at age 17. That moment marked a profound turning point. I quit everything cold turkey, no more drugs, no more drinking. The love I felt for my unborn child gave me strength I didn't know I had. I was determined to give him the life I never had. Despite that commitment, life didn't suddenly get easier. I soon found myself in a toxic relationship that dragged me back into addiction. Over the next 3 years, I lost myself again, drowning my pain in alcohol. When I finally escaped that relationship, I entered another one. It was with a different person, but the same dysfunction. My home, once a place of hope for my son and me, became a hub for substance abuse. I spiraled, losing sight of everything that mattered. The lowest moment of my life came when I lost custody of my children to CPS. That was rock bottom. The weight of that loss crushed me, and I truly believed my life was over. On the day I planned to end it all, something miraculously happened. God stepped in through my aunt and a police officer. That divine intervention saved my life. I had prayed with a broken heart, telling God I couldn't keep going. If you're real, I begged, send someone, anyone, because if you don't, I'm done. And he answered. They took me to the hospital where I began treatment for depression and addiction. Slowly, I began to find my footing again. I got my children back. With hope renewed, I decided to move and start fresh. I believed I could stay sober for good, but recovery isn't a straight line. After the move, I slipped. I started drinking again and using stimulants to stay awake. Deep down, I knew I didn't want this life anymore. I needed something stronger than willpower. I needed a spiritual anchor. That's when I walked into a church for the first time in years. I was broken, ashamed, and desperate for change. I sat through that service feeling like a mess. Then something incredibly happened. During the altar call, a woman leading worship called out to me. "Chassie, come here," she said. She was someone who had battled addiction herself. Tears filled my eyes as I approached the altar. She held my hands, and together we prayed. I cried like I had never cried before. There were deep, soul-cleansing sobs. Then I felt something I had never felt in my life. The only way I can describe it is electrifying. It was as if God was physically reaching into my heart, pulling out the pain, the shame, the addiction. In that moment I prayed, "God, I need you to intervene. I can't do life without you. I'm broken, scared, and lost. My path isn't working." Right then and there, I knew I had to surrender my life to God. Shortly after, I decided to get baptized. When I went under that water, it wasn't just symbolic. I felt my old self die and a real tangible sense of freedom. The freedom was not just from addiction, but from all the pain I had carried for so long. I was released from the grip of my past, from the voices of those who had hurt me, and even from the self-loathing I had lived with for years. It was the beginning of something entirely new. From that day forward, I committed my life to God through my relationship with Jesus. I promised to serve Him and to share with others what He has done for me. Today, I'm 3 years sober. I've broken free from addiction and from the toxic relationships that once defined my life. I'm no longer the person who depended on drugs and alcohol to survive. I'm a mother and a believer. I'm also a peer recovery coach, guiding others as they navigate their own journeys to healing. I now help others find their path to freedom, not just through sobriety, but through a relationship with Jesus Christ. God has been my constant throughout this journey. He's been my source of hope, strength, and purpose. His faithfulness never His faithfulness never wavered, even when I did. He brought people into my life at just the right moment. He showed me that even in the darkest places, His light still shines. I stand today, not just as a survivor, but as someone that has repented of her sins. I have been forgiven and redeemed. I'm living proof that it's never too late to change, to heal, and to find your purpose. Through God, there is life after addiction. There's hope, restoration, and a future. I am forever grateful. This is the testimony of Chassie. What a precious one it is indeed.